Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about Saudi Arabia. This is a country that has a lot of different things to see, and it was make it such an unique country. First, let me tell you some facts of this country. Saudi Arabia, or officially known as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is in Western Asia and takes most part of the Arabian Peninsula, being the second largest country in the Arab world, only behind Algeria, and the 13th largest country in the world. The capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is Riyadh, and the spoken language as well as the official language is Arabic. Currently, there are 33.8 million people living in Saudi Arabia. It has one of the youngest population, with 50% of the people being younger than 30 years old. Saudi Arabia is an absolute monarchy. What does this mean? This means that the country is run by a king, who is also the prime minister. He is in charge of the rights and responsibilities of the citizens and supervises the protections and defense of the nation. The king of Saudi Arabia is called the custodian of the two holy mosques. This is because of the jurisdiction they have over the mosques of Masjid al-Haram in Mecca and the Masjid al-Nabawi in Medina. This title is used in formal occasions, and His Majesty is used when it comes to diplomatic relations. The first king of Saudi Arabia was King Abdulaziz, and he conquered Najd and Hejaz, and for years he managed both of them as two separate realms, until in 1932 he formally united them. Since then, the National Day of Saudi Arabia is on September 23rd. The government of Saudi Arabia doesn't have a legally bound written constitution. However, they issued a document known as the Basic Law of Government in 1992, in which it said how to run the country. This combines the legislative, executive, and judicial functions. The king also has a council of ministers appointed by him that are in charge of matters such as domestic policy, defense, finance, health, and education. Aside from the king and the council of ministers managing the country, there's also the regional governors, who take care of the affairs of the 13 administrative regions that Saudi Arabia is divided in. They are usually appointed and from the royal family. In the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, there is a legal system that requires that all Saudi women have a male legal guardian. This guardian has the authority to make a number of decisions on behalf of them. Usually, the guardian is their father until they get married, but if they don't have a father or a husband, it could be a brother or son. The current king of Saudi Arabia is Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and has been since 2015. His son, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has been involved in the political and economic aspect of the country, and has begun changing the strict rules of the country. One of the areas in which Saudi Arabia stands out is their economy. The country is known for being in the top 20 economies of the world. The reason of this is only one thing: oil. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is the largest exporter of petroleum in the world and has the second largest reserve of it. Their economy bloomed in the 70s and 80s, and with a generous capital along with some development projects that the government funded, they went from an underdeveloped country to its current modern state. And even though they had some problems in the 90s, when the prices of oil were paralyzed, the situation was reversed quickly when the prices went back up. Since then, the country has maintained a low unemployment rate. It's because of these two reasons, their great economy and the low unemployment rate of the country, that part of their population are immigrants seeking economic opportunities. One of the most important aspects of Saudi Arabia is the religion. Saudi Arabia is the birthplace of Islam, and most natives are adherents of the majority Sunni branch. The Sunni Islam has great influence in the political and social aspect of Saudi Arabia. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, like I mentioned before, has a young population, and 93% of the population are Muslim. The country is officially a Muslim nation, and most of them are Sunni. The small percent left of the population that are of other religion are mainly foreign workers and businessmen. However, in Saudi Arabia, the public worship and display by non-Muslim faith is prohibited. Now, why would anyone want to travel to a country like Saudi Arabia? There are a lot of regulations. There is no political freedom, no free speech, no alcohol allowed, and very little mingling between males and females. So if you travel there, what will you do? Well, the fact is that Saudi Arabia has a lot of beautiful landscapes, and the scenery is far more diverse than you can imagine. Saudi Arabia has beautiful oases and mountain tops, as well as sand dunes that seems to go on forever. And even though Saudi Arabia is not the cheapest place to go, there still are some incredible, beautiful places that you can visit. As of the last few years, the kingdom has opened its doors in order to increase tourism. As of today, Saudi Arabia allows international tourists to visit, something that didn't happen before, since they only allowed people visiting on business and pilgrims visiting either or both of the two holy cities, Mecca and Medina. Some of the most popular places that the international tourists can visit are a volcanic crater called Al-Waba is in the middle of the desert and has a salt field in the center. It has become a popular attraction between competent hikers. It's 820 feet and takes 2 to 3 hours to get to the bottom and back. Another place that has attracted a lot of attention is King Fahd Fountain. As its name says, it was donated to the city by the late King Fahd, and is said to be the tallest fountain in the world. It can shoot salt water up to 853 feet, and at night it's lit up by more than 500 spotlights. The capital of the country, Riyadh, is also a place that a lot of tourists visit. There is the Saudi Arabia Best Museum, the Kingdom Center, and a lot of stores where you can shop. There's also the finest hotel and restaurants in the country. And if we are talking about Saudi Arabia, I have to mention the two holy cities, Mecca and Medina. They attract a lot of attention between Muslim tourists, especially since Mecca is the birthplace of Muhammad, and all Muslims have to go there for a pilgrimage at least once in their life. Currently, there are 49 countries that can request a visa to Saudi Arabia online. These, along with the more relaxed dress code for females, are one of the changes that the Crown Prince has made to increase tourism. If you pay attention and follow the rules that they have, you can enjoy your visit to Saudi Arabia with no problems. Now, let me tell you of an important thing. What will you eat when you are in Saudi Arabia? Well, in Saudi Arabia, the main ingredients they use in their food are wheat, rice, lamb, chicken, potatoes, dates, and yogurt. These are things that they mainly produce themselves. One of the many examples of a traditional dinner in Saudi Arabia is kabsa, that is a blend of rice cooked with a variety of meats, vegetables, and spices. This is served with tamiz, a flat bread that is usually served with another dishes. And as a dessert, you have Ali. This is also known as an Egyptian dessert, and is a bread pudding prepared with puff pastry and no eggs. There's also dates. They are really popular in Saudi Arabia, since this country is ranked 4th in the world for producing them, and they offer all kinds of dates to sample from any of the dates farm open to the public. And let's not forget about street food. Every country has this, and Saudi Arabia is no exception. Some of the most popular street food are falafels, hummus, and shawarma. You have probably heard of them before, since they are a public favorite, not only because of their taste, but also because they are so cheap. Well, that's all I have to say of Saudi Arabia. Of course, there's a lot of more, but well, thank you for listening, and I hope that you know a little bit more about this country.